Alright, so this week we have the fight in between Yuri Prohashka and Carlos Ulberg out in Miami this Saturday, and I'm going to go through most of, if not the entire card, going through my breakdown and prediction for most of the fights. Uh, so far, I have to say, really good card. Really good card. I'm going to start off with Charles Radke, Francisco Prado. I think Charles Radke is going to win this one. I think he has a bit more tenacity when it comes to all styles of mixed martial arts, the clinch, the grappling, the striking, whereas Francisco Prado, I feel like he is more of a striker. Did lose to Varetnikov just this past... Wait. Oh, a full year ago. I thought it was just this past, like, week, and then I was like, it's July. What? Whereas Charles Radke did come off of a win up against Frunza. So, but I got Charles Radke in this one. Second round TK or 29-28 decision. Next up, already a good card. Oh, I just can't open that one. Okay. Kelvin Gastelum, Vicente Luque. Two veterans in both the welterweight and I'd say middleweight division as well. It's going to be very interesting to see Vicente Luque coming up to 185. But let's see if Kevin Gastelum can make the weight in the first place. There's been a lot of times where he's been over, even going from 170 to 185 in a catch weight. So it'll be interesting to see if he'll actually be able to make the weight and also how in shape he'd be. Um, but I mean, it kind of begs the question: what do you think is going to be more likely, Kelvin Gastelum not to make weight or Vicente Luque to have another brain hemorrhage during a fight? Because during Joaquin Buckley, he didn't look the same as any other fight, but he has kind of regained that over the past few fights. So, I mean, is it going to be lighter man's skill that's going to win this? I'd have to say, yeah. I think Vicente Luque. No, actually. I think Kelvin Gastelum's used to the middleweight division, and I think he's also going to pack on a lot of weight after the weigh-ins. So I actually will go Kelvin Gastelum 29-28, maybe 30-27 decision. Either that or a first-round knockout. It'll be one of the two. Next up, Marquel Medeiros versus Chris Padilla. I'm going to go Marquel Medeiros in this one. Although a big discrepancy in reach over about, I think, 3.5, 4.5 inches. Uh, I feel as though you can tell with the records right here 17-6, 11-1. I feel like they want Marquel Medeiros to get a good win up against, I'd say, an alright prospect. He's had a couple of good fights. Did win against Gabriel Bonfim, so I mean, hey, can't blame him. Can't blame him. But I'm gonna go Marquel Medeiros second round KO in this one. See, they're learning. They're learning from us, okay? We're saying that we don't like fucking women's fights on the main event. What do? They put the fucking top 2 and top 6 in the fucking strawweight division, and they put that shit in the fucking prelims like it fucking deserves. Tatiana Suarez, Lupi Gordinez. I'm going to go Tatiana Suarez if she can make the strawweight limit, because I know that she's been having a lot of problems getting that weight cut down. But if she is able to make the weight, it's an easy win right there. But the other thing you got to think about is even if she does make weight, how's that cardio going to affect her throughout the entirety of the fight? But either way, I would know for sure that she's going to be a big favorite. I'm going to go Tatiana Suarez, second round submission. Next up, Maktush Gamrot versus Esteban Ribovic. Uh, Esteban Ribovic, I think, was the guy who went up against Ignacio Bahamondes in the UFC Noche card. Maktush Gamrot gone up against the elite of the elite in the division, and I think that he's going to get past Esteban Ribovic pretty easily. Pretty easily. Because Esteban Ribovic has been up against some good up-and-comers recently. Yeah. Winning over Brenner, winning over or losing over Hasparat, winning up against Zellhuber, winning up against McKinney. Whereas when you look at Maktush Gamrot's career, Charles Oliveira, Klein, Dan Hooker, Rafael dos Anjos, Rafael Fiziev, Jalen Turner. These are top 10, top 5 people in the division. So they're really giving him a step down with Esteban Vukovic, and I think he's going to be able to get this done easily, but by decision, 30-27. Next up, Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. Crazy to think that both of these guys are 6'3" in the welterweight division, but they are. And I think I'm going to go Randy Brown on this one. Although Kevin Holland has, like I said in the last fight, he's been up against the who's who in both the welterweight and middleweight division, whereas Randy Brown's kind of getting into his form, getting into his prime. I feel like Kevin Holland doesn't take it seriously. He doesn't take MMA that seriously. He used to, when he had a big mouth fighting up against Thiago Santos, going on, I believe it was the Dana White's Contender Series, I think. Like, he used to be into it, and then after getting a couple of these big paychecks, getting a couple of main events, I feel like he's not in it anymore. He did have that loss up against, who was it? Mike Mallet, for crying out loud. Mike Mallet. And Randy Brown coming off of the loss up against Gabriel Bonfim. Huh. So, I mean, I'm going to go Randy Brown in this one. I'm going to go knockout second round. I think he's going to be able to use just basically his tenacity to get inside of Kevin Holland's reach. And then from there, Kevin Holland goes from an A+ fighter to about a C+ fighter. So, Randy Brown, I think he's going to get this one done TKO second round. All right, Battle of the Bellators. We got Aaron Pico versus Patricio Pitbull. Golly, how this could have been if they both were coming off of wins. Aaron Pico getting knocked out by Laurel Murphy. I think Patricio Pitbull went up against who? Dan Ige, yep. Yeah, Dan Ige, and then he lost up against... who is that guy? Yair Rodriguez. So, I mean, in this one, I'm going to go Patricio Pitbull. I think that he's more technically sound. Aaron Pico is more of a glass cannon, throws absolute bombs. He's a featherweight Michael Chandler without the chin. He gets chinned a lot, but he throws absolute domination in both of his hands, both of his kicks, his takedowns, his wrestling. Whereas Patricio Pitbull stays a bit technical, stays a bit orthodox. Makes sure to keep his hands in front of him, sprawls takedowns, and I think that that's going to actually make the difference in this fight. I think that his level of being a veteran in the sport is going to help out as well in the geometry of the cage. And so I'm going to go Patricio Pitbull decision 29-28, maybe a split decision, could go either way. All right, and to start off the main event, Cub Swanson, Nate Landwehr. I'm going to go Cub Swanson on this one. There was a bit of hype with Nate Landwehr here a couple of years ago. I'd even say like a year and a half ago, but he's kind of gotten a couple of losses recently. Hasn't looked the greatest, going up against a veteran in the UFC in Cub Swanson, a very good kickboxer, very good grappler. I think Cub Swanson is just going to get this one done. I think he's going to get it done by TKO third round. Now for the odd one, Johnny Walker versus Dominic Reyes in the light heavyweight division. I'm going to go Johnny Walker on this one. I think him being 6'6" and very unorthodox is going to play a good role in this. I think this is probably the most reach advantage I've seen on a light heavyweight. 5 inches of reach. No. 7 inches of reach. Jesus Christ. And I mean, Dominic Reyes has been great at times, but getting that loss to Carlos Ulberg definitely didn't help his stock. Was on a 4-fight winning streak beforehand. Johnny Walker... What was his last win? It was against Zhang Minyang because he decided to throw low kicks. So I think Johnny Walker just has more tools in his game box. And also, he's 6'6" in the light heavyweight division. Can't really doubt that. He's going to be able to get his shots off. So I'm going to go Johnny Walker knockout third round. Either that or decision 29-28. Wow, the rise of the century. Josh Hokit at 8-0 going up against a top contender in Curtis Blades. I'm going to go Curtis Blades on this one. He's just too used to being in these fights, main events. 6'4", 258, whereas Josh Hokit comes in at around 234, 3 inches of height, 7 inches of reach. I think the only thing that can go for Josh Hokit is his footwork, his speed, and maybe his shot placement. Maybe. Because I think Curtis Blades is better at the wrestling. I think he's better in the clinch. I think he's better in the ground. So the only way Josh Hokit's going to be able to get an advantage in this is by staying on the feet. And I'd even say with Curtis Blades' reach, that's going to be difficult for him. So I'm going to go Curtis Blades' decision, 29-28, and a lackluster performance by both. Next up, in the co-main event, Paulo Costa coming up to 205 in order to face off against the number 8 ranked Azmat Mirzakhanov. I'm going to go Azat Mirzakhanov in this one, although he is 3 inches shorter, which is very weird to see. He does carry a lot of power in his hands. He is absolutely dynamite with his hands. Hasn't seen much resistance. I think his last win was up against Alexander Rakic. Whereas Paulo Costa hasn't fought in about a year, with a win up against Roman Kopylov in the middleweight division. And I mean, we have to think about in the light heavyweight division, not only how is he going to go up against Azmat Mirzakhanov, how do you think he's going to go up against the other light heavyweights up against Azmat Mirzakhanov? And I think Azmat has got at least 5 out of the 10 beat on any given day, whereas Paulo Costa's maybe got 3 or 4 in the top 10. So I'm going to go Azmat Mirzakhanov. I'm going to go TKO second round. And now for the main event, Carlos Ulberg and Jiri Prochazka. I'm going to go Jiri Prochazka on this one. The veteran experience being a 5-round fight. He did have that amazing fight with Glover Teixeira, had an amazing 2 or 3 fights with Alex Pereira, although he was on the losing end of both. I think he's the rightful ruler of the light heavyweight division. I feel like if Alex Pereira wasn't there, he would have been champion for years now. But unfortunately, now he has to go up against the up-and-comer Carlos Ulberg, training out of City Kickboxing in New Zealand. But the thing is, I think that entire camp, City Kickboxing, is going to be no longer in a couple years. I'd say 2. Because you got to think, you got Israel Adesanya, tail end of his career. Alexander Volkanovski, end of his career. Dan Hooker, end of his career, or at least never going to a title picture at this point. Carlos Ulberg, about to get a title shot. If he loses his title shot, where does he go? Maybe top 5 again. Like, this is the other guy where you're like, okay, maybe he can make City Kickboxing relevant again. Blood Diamond in the City Kickboxing gym was here for about 3 fights and then got cut. So they're putting a lot of stock on him to be able to perform. And I think he's going to be able to. I just think he's not ready for the 5-round fight, 5-round war that Jiri Prochazka is going to put on him. So I'm going to go Jiri Prochazka, 4th round TKO or submission. But either way, it's going to happen in the 4th round. So all in all, I'd say prediction-wise, I'm going to say this card's going to be an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9 out of 10 with how it looks so far. Got amazing stacked fights all the way down. Kelvin Gastelum, Vicente Luque, great fight. Tatiana Suarez, Lupe Cardenas, great fight to put on the prelims. Because if you put that on the main event, I wouldn't watch this fucking card. Maktush Gamrot, number 8 in the world on the prelims. That's crazy. Battle of Bellator. Like, this is number 10, number 12. Like, this is a good numbered card. We'll have to see how it goes, but I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.